Welcome back to one more lecture in managerial economics. In our previous lecture, we have seen what is law of variable proportions and what are the assumptions underlying the law and in what cases law of variable proportions is applicable and the practical difficulties in applying law of variable proportions. Now in this lecture, let me explain you about law of returns to scale. But before that, let me remind you that every economic concept or every economic issue is discussed with respect to two different time perspectives, namely short run and long run. Short run production function is dealt with by law of variable proportions, whereas long run production problems are discussed under law of returns to scale. Law of variable proportions is a law that speaks about the changes in output that may be brought as a result of varying one variable input or as a result of changing one input factor by keeping all other factor inputs as constant. So the law of variable proportions explains the relationship between output and input when only one input factor is varied, keeping all others as constant in the short run. This is so because in the short run, since time is not sufficient enough to procure or acquire all the resources that are needed in production activity, in the short run, production increments can be made possible only by way of increasing one or two factors of production. However, the same may not be the case in long run. Long run is a period of more than 1 year, and when a manufacturer wants to increase his production due to long-term changes in demand or due to any other long-term phenomenon, he can simply do so by increasing the quantum of every input or every factor that is used in the process of production. Thus, when all the factors of production in a manufacturing unit are increased simultaneously, how the production or output takes place or how the production or output undergoes a change is the subject matter of law of returns to scale. Thus, law of returns to scale is that law which studies about the changes in output that are brought by a change or simultaneous change in all the factors of production. And again, the law of returns to scale may have three different phases, namely increasing returns to scale stage, decreasing returns to scale stage, and constant returns to scale stage. And increasing returns to scale is said to have arisen when output increases in a proportion which is more than the increase in the proportion of inputs. I repeat, a manufacturing concern is supposed to be having increasing returns to scale of production when the percentage increase in output is more than the percentage increase in inputs. For example, if all the inputs that are used in the process of production are increased by 10% each, and as a result of this, if output increases by more than 10%, we shall call it increasing returns to scale of production. But contrary to that, if a given percentage increase in inputs leads to a less than proportionate increase in output, we shall call it as decreasing returns to scale stage. For example, if in a manufacturing concern, if all the inputs are increased by 10% with a view to increase production, but if as a result output increases only by 5 or 6% or any amount which is less than 10%, we shall call it decreasing returns to scale. And the third phenomenon may be constant returns to scale. In constant returns to scale, with every proportionate increase in the inputs, output will also have the same proportionate increment or change. Suppose if a 10% increase in inputs is made with a view to increase output and the resultant is exactly a 10% change or increase in the output, we shall call it constant returns to scale stage, and increasing returns to scale or constant returns to scale or decreasing returns to scale are all dependent upon the economies or diseconomies of scale that are tasted by an organization. At this point, let me give you a brief of economies of scale and diseconomies of scale. In economics, by scale we mean large scale production. That is, when a manufacturing concern carries on production activity in a bulk quantity or in a larger volume, it is called as a large scale production, and in economics such large scale production is generally termed as scale or large scale. Okay, and whenever production is taken up in a large scale, there are certain advantages as well as disadvantages that are coming to an organization, and all the advantages that are obtained by an organization by way of carrying out production activity in a large scale are called as economies of scale. So by economies we mean advantages, and economies of scale mean advantages of a large scale production, and diseconomies mean disadvantages, and diseconomies of scale mean disadvantages due to large scale production. And coming back to the law of returns to scale, in production activity, a company may be seeing increasing returns to scale stage when the economies of scale, that is, when the advantages of large scale production are more than the disadvantages of large scale production. In other words, when the disadvantages that are inherently present in large scale production are offset by advantages of large scale production, a company may be seeing increasing returns to scale. But on the other hand, if diseconomies of scale are more than economies of scale or advantages of large scale production, a company may be facing decreasing returns to scale for its large scale production. But contrary to both these things, if both economies are advantages of large scale production and diseconomies are disadvantages of large scale production exactly one and the same, or when they are exactly equal, a company may be facing constant returns to scale. And in one more lecture, I shall explain you clearly about economies and diseconomies of scale.